Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, we'll take a look at the economy and the construction industry in particular with Don Ahern, President and CEO of Ahern Equipment Rentals. It's all coming up next on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
What kind of a man lies to women? This one. Steve Sisolak is lying to us about abortion, opposed to contraceptives, no exceptions for rape or incest, abortion ban. Joe Lombardo doesn't support any of those things. Sisolak is a desperate man trying to hold on to power. Our schools are unsafe, police are under attack, and families are struggling. What kind of a man covers up his failures with lies? This one.
Hi, I'm Renee Summerauer, digital news anchor here at 7 at 7. Watch our streaming nonstop newscast immediately with your mobile phone. 7 at 7 is the new way for you to get every bit of local news you need in just 7 minutes. Breaking news, local neighborhood news, weather, and sports are just a click away. Reporters bring you all of what's happening in the Valley. From Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, YouTube, and more. Get every bit of local news you need from the RJ and LVRJ.com.
Take a look at Pro Group Management and see how your workers' comp requirements can be met head-on. By taking a proactive approach, Pro Group can assure that your company is meeting or exceeding state and federal standards. As you move forward in your industry, Pro Group moves with you, simplifying regulatory tasks, clearing the way so you can get the job done and look to your future success. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Nevada Newsmakers Studio is located at the headquarters of the Nevada Trucking Association. Motion and purpose are a truck's greatest virtue.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always pleased to welcome back to the program Don Ahern. He is the president and CEO of Ahern Equipment Rentals, and we are here at your beautiful hotel here on Sahara Avenue. Thank you again for hosting us as always.
My pleasure, Sam. We really enjoy having you here.
Thank you. And as we look across the street, this big piece of property that's called the Fairgrounds, that's part of Circus is being contemplated for the A's stadium. What can you share with us about that, if anything?
Well, you know, I don't know absolutely all the answers. I wished I did know. And I haven't actually gone out of my way to try to make phone calls and figure it all out. But about a month ago or 6 weeks ago now, there was a lot of conversation about it. And we received a phone call from the owners of the A's, and they wanted to kind of get to know us over the phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they said, we're just doing our due diligence. We just want to know who the neighbors are and how do you feel about it? And we said, hi, sounds great to us. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Sure. Well, I mean, that would be fabulous for this particular business. I mean, to have the A's Stadium across the street.
Yeah.
Have you, obviously, there have been news reports that Phil Ruffin, the owner of Circus in Treasure Island, has made several trips to Oakland. So I can't imagine him doing a trip like that even once if it wasn't serious.
Well, I heard the same thing. I actually have a little bit of knowledge on that particular aspect, and there's no doubt he has gone up there to talk to them on one or more occasions as well. But I understand that, I mean, just hearsay on my part. I don't want anybody to take me for the absolute answer here, but I understand he had kind of changed his heart in terms of he didn't want to sell originally, and that was kind of holding back the A's, but now he's decided to go ahead and maybe sell a portion, not all of it, but a portion of the property.
Okay, now Phil Ruffin is a land guy. You know, if you remember when he sold the New Frontier, at the time it was the highest price per acre. He got $1 billion profit on that deal. He paid $200 million and got over $1.2 billion for that. And he told me on this program that was always a lands play. If he's contemplating selling land, then I'm sure that that's not for a small amount of money.
Oh, I suspect there's a large amount of money there, more than I probably could imagine. But
well, they have
I hope he does make money on it, and I hope he really does sell it to him.
Well, he's got 100 acres, including the whole property there for Circus, and I believe it's 39 acres for this fairground. So that's more than enough to build a stadium, right?
Yeah. So again, I know Phil
We're just
Ruffin. I don't
spitballing.
want to make any enemies on this by saying things that I don't honestly. I heard it was that he was spinning off 22 of the acres for this project, but it could be more. It could be 30, 39. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the entire size of
Okay.
that acreage of the fairgrounds.
Yeah. I had heard 22 acres is what it takes to get the A's satisfied with all the space they need.
Well, that would allow him to develop other things around it that could make money makers for Circus.
Absolutely.
The other site that's in discussion, it appears, is the Tropicana site. How did you, as a construction guy, how do you view the benefits between the two properties?
Well, I certainly hope he comes down here to, to the south end of the, or I guess he called it the north end of the game here. Seems like to me the Tropicana is a smaller property. It might be big enough. Apparently, it must be, because it was the top option going there for a long time. I think we all kind of felt like that's probably where it was going until this kind of changed its face here over about 6 weeks ago or so. So I don't know. Tropicana would have to be torn down. This is wide open. I just see this as a much better option. The traffic, we've got, I don't know, the Tropicana Road is awfully busy. Of course, Sahara is too, and I think Sahara might even be a wider road or something, I think I heard. So I think it'd be great here. There's some big power lines that I would hope they would put underground, and could also be an advantage for us here at the hotel, because we don't enjoy those amazingly large power lines out front. But
Right.
So a few things some infrastructure would have to change around a little bit.
There's another stadium that's planned for Warm Springs, just down the other end of the strip. How many stadiums do you think that Las Vegas can handle?
Well, what's clear to me is that these younger generations, younger than me, and everybody's really involved in sports. It's a sports world. Everybody just, I don't think there's any end to it. I think they can put as many stadiums as they want in this town and just keep on coming with it all. People from all over the world like to come to Las Vegas. It's an amazing city. When I was born here, there was 10 or 15,000 people, 1953.
Wow.
And now there's 3 million.
It's on the way. 3 million.
Is there about 3 million?
It's about 2.2 million, but the valley is forecast to be around 3 million people.
Yeah, completely surrounded. And there's a few people here that we don't know are here.
Right.
Could be 1 million. I don't know. But there's quite a few, if you know what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing that the sports interest and sports gaming has really just taken off tremendously. And Allegiant has been obviously a huge success. The Golden Knights have been a huge success. So we'll see. All right, I want to talk to you about the economy. Let's take a break and we'll come back and talk about that after this time out.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Events Center in Las Vegas. Host meetings and events on 2 floors. Stay in luxurious rooms and suites. Unlimited branding opportunities. Regional Italian cuisine by Chef Mark Segrisi. Flexible event spaces. Full buyout options. Visit ahernhotel.com today.
Follow the money.
Who's getting rich while making our laws?
Let's take a look at what records show about Adam Laxalt.
Laxalt owns stock in ExxonMobil and Chevron.
And sided with Big Oil when he was Attorney General.
Laxalt also owns stock in pharmaceutical companies.
And sided with Big Pharma against a plan lowering drug prices.
When they make money, he makes money.
It's all true. The real Adam Laxalt.
Just selling us out and cashing in.
SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
I grew up in one of the poorest areas of America. My mom struggled to make ends meet, so I saw firsthand how government programs failed to help families like mine. That led me to start a nonprofit that helped thousands of low-income students and empowered female and minority entrepreneurs. I believed in it so much that I lived in my car while I got it off the ground. My name is Drew Johnson, and I'm running for Clark County Commission. I've been in poverty, and I know what it's like to rise out of it with a hand up, not a hand out.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Don Ahern. He's the president and CEO of Ahern Equipment Rentals. As we're talking about these stadiums, the one down south, is pretty much scheduled to go ahead. They've got the financing, etc. If the A's do actually move here, you've got the Fontainebleau still under construction.
Yep, coming along.
Do we have enough construction workers in Southern Nevada to be able to handle all this?
Yeah. During the booms and the bust around Las Vegas always has gone up and down. In the recent few decades, the bust hasn't been such a bust. But you go back 30, 40 years ago, we used to go down to like almost nothing being built. But when people come in, when the work is here, they come from all over to work here. I've seen them. They live in the desert. They live in their pickup trucks. They do what they got to do to get work. Now, I think it has more to do with not the amount of construction work here, but how much construction work is going on in other cities, particularly Utah. Utah has historically been a great source of labor here in the construction market. These people from particularly southern Utah and all of Utah, really, when they're really busy up there, that makes it a little harder down here.
Well, yeah, because St. George is booming.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It is booming.
What do you think about the water situation? Obviously, we have enough. I had John Ensminger on the other day talking about, the Southern Nevada Water Authority, and the Las Vegas Valley is protected by that third straw, so the lake can continue to go down, but Las Vegas is secure in its water plus its banked water. As you look,
I think we have a risk. I think there's a big risk there.
And the risk is?
And I've heard that when that lake gets down to a certain elevation, that the straws really don't work, or the dam quits producing electricity.
The dam quits producing electricity, but that the first two straws go out,
right.
But that third straw they built for like $1.6 billion, that's the one that is the saver when it gets to what they call the dead pool.
Right, the dead pool. And so I think we have a problem here. Now, I can tell you, I was born here in Las Vegas, right downtown. My family owned the truck stop, which is now the Stratosphere Tower. And I remember sitting at the table with my mom and dad and watching TV. Back then we had 3 channels, 3, 8, and 13, all right? That was it. And everything is out, we're out of water. This is 40, 50 years ago. We're out of water 40, 50 years ago. So, but usually behind that was a pitch to raise taxes. Get the sales tax up to produce another straw, or, it was all kind of a political football. And it was kind of amazing that back when there was maybe 50,000 people here in the valley, we were out of water. But every time the money goes up, the price of water goes up, there's more water. Now, I got a feeling that it's all been a money thing in all these decades that I've been alive, but I fear that there might be some real truth to it. Now, I have quite a few water wells here in Las Vegas, and I had a guy working on my water well just recently, and the well casing had it looked like the pump had pushed up 3 feet, you know. And I was talking to the water well repairman that does all the water wells, very well-known guy here in town. He says, no, the pump didn't push up. The floor level has dropped 3 feet or 2 feet, you know. And so as the hydrology, the hydraulic lift that we get from the water underneath here, which is the Armagosha River, if you're familiar,
right.
It comes down from the north and goes underneath. And a lot of times the water district discharges water back into this underground aquifers to kind of solve the problem around here. But I can tell you from my own water wells, this elevation is a minimum of 2 feet lower than MSL than what it used to be.
Okay. The federal government is making a lot of noise about telling the states what to do along the Colorado River. Mm-hmm. Nevada has a lot of water banked both in Nevada and in Utah. In Arizona. But do you have concerns that we don't have enough water to continue the growth that we're seeing, essentially from Apex all the way to Jean?
I do have a concern. I am on high alert. I've never seen the lake this low. Now, there's humans that can regulate how much water is in each one of the, I mean, they could dry up Lake Mead if they wanted to and put the water in Powell and the Mojave. I mean, there's a lot of things they can do. Sometimes I wonder if they don't just dry this lake up a bit just to kind of help get some legislation through and raise taxes and stuff. But I really, that's just speculation on my part.
Right.
I know there's a lot of really smart people, and there was someone in decades ago when they did the allocations for the Colorado River Commission that allowed Las Vegas to have an allocation. And I understand the history of that is that individual wasn't really planning on having a gaming Las Vegas. He was thinking that they were going to turn this into an agricultural valley. And I don't know, I'm talking maybe 100 years ago, whenever
Yes.
they did that. But nevertheless, it never became an agricultural valley. The ground really isn't right for agriculture here. But we've got our water, thank goodness, to whoever that, I don't have memory to tell you who that guy was.
Right.
Maybe you do.
No, but I know that the allocation is 300,000 acre feet of water,
Mm-hmm.
and they just got another 30,000 acre feet that will come from the Metropolitan Water District in a deal because Southern Nevada is providing money to a project in Southern California that will allow them to have an additional 10%. But John Ensminger, the head of Southern Nevada Water Authority, says everybody's going to have to cut back.
I think so. I know we as a business are cutting back drastically, and I know there's a big plan to kind of bring some water out of the St. Louis area or Missouri and bring it over and put it in.
He says that's not going to happen.
That's all BS, huh? I don't know.
I don't know about BS because those projects have been talked about, but I think from an environmental point of view and from a cost point of view, those are just big ideas that are never going to happen. And
wouldn't surprise me.
The Southern Nevada Water Authority still owns those ranches up in eastern Nevada because there's that huge underground aquifer. But at this point in time, that project is dead. Whether it's dead 50 years from now, we'll see.
I think we got problems.
Well, but do you have confidence that those problems can be resolved?
I think there's going to be some challenges, and the planning, the building department, all that is now putting some of the developers through some added hoops. I'm involved in one high-rise project here in Las Vegas that we're going through a water approval process that historically wouldn't have been part of the process. And now we're going through submitting a whole plan on how we're going to navigate water and usage for this high-rise. And it's kind of slowing down the approval process.
Okay, but do you think that it makes sense of what they're asking you to do?
One side of me says absolutely yes. I think we have to be prudent. We got to we got to start making some decisions, and aggregately throughout the valley, we can't be wasting water. We really shouldn't be. It's just the wrong thing to do. It's not the right thing to do.
All right, let's take another break. We'll be back more with Don Ahern after this timeout.
With Nevada's only transplant center and verified burn center, the science is here. With award-winning cardiologist and the state's only dedicated heart failure clinic, the talent is here. With Nevada's most advanced robotic surgery, the technology is here. And with the Silver State's only designated pediatric trauma center, hope is here. All because we are here. UMC.
Safety is the #1 priority for the trucking industry. Over $7 billion a year is spent on technology like this electronic eye that will apply the brakes automatically. But the most important factor for safety is the truck driver. These hardworking men and women who safely move over 70% of our nation's freight and 94% of Nevada's. We thank you because trucks move America forward.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Don Ahern. He's the head of Ahern Equipment Rentals, a name that is known across the country, let alone just in Nevada. So I was mentioning from Apex to Gene, as far as development goes. Are you excited about this? Is this good for your business? Is this good for business in general?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of pro growth. You know, I don't believe in slowing growth down at all. I think it has to be managed a little bit, and I think that government has to be, somebody's got to keep their thumb on the government, make sure they're not out of control and you know, just extorting everybody that comes along that wants to build. You know, my biggest fear is the behavior of the government on how they control that or release that. You know, we always say, as a businessman, I always say, government, get your foot off my neck so that I can create some jobs here and make a living.
Okay, now are you talking about that in general, or are you talking about in land releases from the federal government?
I'm talking in general, you know, just, you know, the overreach of the government, the controls, the OSHA, you know, the Department of Labor, you know, the dirt permits, you know, the dust permits is completely wrong, you know. And I don't know what to say, but, you know, I've sued them. I've sued many of them, and I'll continue to sue them, and I invite them to come on, because I'd love to sue them again, because they're bastards in many, many cases, you know. But, you know.
Now, are you talking federal, state, local?
I'm talking, well, let's talk about OSHA. OSHA started off as a federal government, right? Federal OSHA. Got turned over to the states. The states then had to fund it themselves, so OSHA's just turned into an extortion artist. All they do is hire people to run around and extort businessmen and try to fine us. And then halfway, 90 days into the deal afterwards, they offer to cut your fine in half if you give up your appeal rights. Well, I fell into that deal over the many years. You know, you got to understand, the family's been in business here for 70 years. I've had OSHA come right into my place and give me fines for things that I've been doing since, you know, they've been in there 20 times. They never said anything about it. Sometimes it's just paperwork. You know, the legislature hasn't passed any laws. There's nothing been changed. They're just extortion games. I've got safety people that work for me that used to work for them. I say, well, why don't you work for OSHA? Well, I just couldn't give out enough fines, so they didn't need me anymore.
So how does it go with these court cases? I mean, do you end up winning?
I win everything. I always win. Absolutely. They won't let anything go to court. They're afraid. You go to court, you're creating a law when you go to court. You're setting precedent, you know. And it could be the dust people. I had quite a run-in with the dust department about 2 years ago. It was amazing. I had to get county commissioners involved, and we had to get into this whole thing. They posted people up on the sidewalk to watch me, to make sure I wasn't parking a car on a dirt portion of the lot. Yet they do it all over town. Everybody does it all over town. And they threatened me with $10,000 a day to park a car on a dirt lot, you know.
And what was the end result of that?
Well, we paved that little lot, and the problem went away for me. But you know, I see they don't enforce it equally. They just run around and extort people where they can get money.
That's quite a story, my friend.
Oh, they're extortion artists. They need to be stopped.
Well, on that note, we have to stop because we're out of time.
Okay.
But I always appreciate your input. That's a story that we'll try and follow up on.
Okay.
But thanks for being here as always, my friend. And thank you for hosting us.
My pleasure.
And
Thank
we'll
you.
be right back.
Ahern Rentals began as Signal Gas Station on Las Vegas Boulevard. Founder John Ahern grew the business by offering rentals. His son Don built on John's legacy, growing Ahern Rentals into the largest independently owned American rental company, with 89 locations in 30 states. Don also brought his experience and vision to equipment manufacturing with Extreme Manufacturing and Snorkel. Today, Ahern Rentals continues to bring its family values to a new generation. Learn more at ahern.com.
Everyone is talking about opioids, but they're not the only drugs that can be harmful if taken in large quantities or not as prescribed. You also need to be aware of side effects from anxiety drugs, muscle relaxants, sleep aids, and stimulants. Mixing prescription drugs with other drugs or alcohol can be dangerous. If you take an Ambien with a glass of wine, it may be enough to stop you from breathing. Prescribed drugs can be just as dangerous as illegal drugs. Take medications only as directed.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers as we broadcast from the Ahern Hotel on Sahara Avenue in Las Vegas. We'll have more coming to you from Las Vegas in upcoming shows. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching.